welcome to Snow Stitches. I'm Alana Snow. Hope you're doing as awesome as I am today. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about what's on my shelf. That's a segment that I'm trying out today for the first time. Just where I tell you a little bit about the books that I'm reading, whether or not they're new, or if I'm rereading them, if they've been on my shelf for a long time, or if they're ones that I just acquired. I'm an avid reader, so I'll probably be doing this one a lot. So I guess we'll just jump right in. The first books that I'm going to talk about is the Dollenganger series by V.C. Andrews. This set I got as a gift from my boyfriend's mom for this past Christmas. I was so surprised. I actually cried a little bit just because they're my favorite books, and I've wanted the whole series for a really long time, like to have all of them like for myself, and it just never happened. So it made me really, really happy. For those of you who don't know too much about V.C. Andrews, she actually only wrote, I think, eight books that have her name on them, like that you'll find in stores or online. Only 8 of them were actually written by her. The rest were written by her ghostwriter, Andrew Needleman, something like that. He's a good writer. He wrote Devil's Advocate, and almost all of her books, he's written them, so they're not written by her, they're written in the estate of her, just so you guys know, if you're ever purchasing a V.C. Andrews book, the only 8 books that were actually written by her were the first 4, so I'll show you them here. So, Flowers in the Attic, Petals in the Wind, so that's the one with the red, and then the one with the purple, If There Be Thorns and Seeds of Yesterday. Those were the first 4 in the Dollenganger series. Those are written by her. Also, My Sweet Audrina was written by her, as well as Heaven and Dark Angel. So I guess I like that by books being written in her estate, it's almost like her spirit lives on. But one thing I don't like is that it was never really talked about at the time that she died, that she had died. So a lot of her fans in her time didn't get to grieve over her death in the way that we would now if one of our favorite authors had passed. So, oh yes, the other book that she had written and published was Gods of Green Mountain. It's like a sci-fi novel, and I think it's only available as like an audiobook or maybe an ebook. I'm not too sure which one of those it is, but it's not available in print right now. I don't know. The first 4 books in the Dollenganger series, I love them. I love them so much. They're my favorite books probably in the whole world, other than a few Stephen King's. I read the first one. I actually got this one here, the double of the first 2 books, from my mom for Christmas when I was, I think, 12 maybe, or 13. And I read it, and I loved it. It's written so well, and I think every time you read it, you'll find something different from it. I mean, like reading it as a young child, well, not a young child, but as a 12-year-old, as a teenager, there's some content in it that maybe I shouldn't have been reading at the time, but I feel like I was mature enough for it. And, like I said, you really just take something different from it every time. Like, I took from it the first time I read it, definitely that love can find you in strange ways, and sometimes you can't explain it and you can't fight it, and also that people do terrible things for money. So those were maybe the 2 things I took when I first read it. Reading it again now, because right now I've just finished the first one again and I'm reading the second one. Reading it now, I'm just taking a lot more like like how a human mind can mature and grow in certain circumstances, and how history really does repeat itself, because that's kind of what the whole series is about, really. Yeah, it's an amazing series. If you haven't read it, then you should. It's great. I would strongly suggest to anybody to read it, girl or guy. It's an amazing story, and there's something in it for everyone, and it's really dark and it's really twisted, and those are the kind of books that I like, and I just love them. So yeah, My Sweet Audrina, I read that. It's good. It's not as good as the Dollenganger series, in my opinion, and there's a lot of different content in it, but more so I don't really think I like it because at the time V.C. Andrews wrote this, she was trying to get out of this style of writing, and her publishers didn't want her to. They wanted her in this dark writing because she did really well with it. So I feel like that kind of shows through. Like, maybe that she wasn't really into it that much, but it's still a good read. And now Heaven, I just started it. It's good. I'm really liking it. I'll probably be finished it within the next month, depending on how much knitting I'm doing, because that always stops me from reading. And then Dark Angel is the sequel to Heaven. There's also, I think, like 3 more of this series, but they're not written by V.C. Andrews. They're written by Andrew Needleman, so I'm not too sure if I want to read them. So those are my V.C. Andrews books. Now Stephen King, like I said, is my favorite. I think I really like his works as Richard Bachman, not so much Stephen King. I love Stephen King also, but I just mean his works as Richard Bachman. They were really true to him, to how he was feeling at the time, and if you read like why Bachman was necessary, which is normally an introduction in most of the Bachman books you can find now, I think it's called The Importance of Being Bachman, then you'll more so understand he wasn't crazy, it's not some crazy author doing that for more fame or to sell more books. It was for pretty decent reasons, and I can respect that out of him. So I really like The Long Walk by Richard Bachman. It's really good. You should read that. I don't have it here with me right now. It's not on my shelf. I gave it to a friend, so I'm probably going to buy another copy. I just read Dolores Claiborne. I think I finished it about a month ago. It's really good. It's written super differently than any other book you'll find, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it once you get into it, because it was a little hard for me to get into it just because I'm used to, the basic writing, paragraphs, grammar, dialogue, stuff like that. You won't find a lot of that in Dolores Claiborne, but that's what makes it so unique, and that's also what makes it such a good story. I'm sure you guys all know the story of Dolores Claiborne because you've probably seen the movie with Kathy Bates. It's quite an intense story, but it's also pretty heartwarming and touching, and you'll probably cry at a few spots in the book, just like I did. And this one here is Mr. Mercedes. So I've been reading this for like a few months, and it's kind of hard for me to finish just because I didn't really, I didn't really want to get it in the store. That's why I came home and I ordered it off Amazon at the time that I bought Dolores Claiborne, just because it didn't seem like the type of Stephen King book that I wanted to read. I know he has a lot of like kind of sci-fi books, like those Dark Towers that are out now, and also like some like cop mysteries. This is more like a cop mystery with like a serial killer, and it's not like the dark, twisted, like Stephen King that I really know and love and that I wanted. So it's still good writing, just like Stephen King always is, but it's not the type of Stephen King that I really enjoy. So once I finish that series, because I do like to finish a series, I probably won't keep it on my shelf. I'll probably be giving it away. So that's about it for the books that I'm reading. I'm going to be making a video on Tuesday to show you guys the fingerless gloves that I'm doing for my boyfriend's sister, because I have to give them to her on Wednesday and I still have about like half an inch left to do on them. So I'll be showing you guys them on Tuesday. Also, I'll be doing a what's in my basket, just showing you guys some of the yarns that I have, and maybe what I plan to do with them. Okay, so have a great weekend, guys. I hope you get lots of knitting done and lots of reading done too. Okay, so stay stitching. Bye.